Corniel, talk us through the week. How much of an impact has it made with the match?
Yeah, look, sorry for what?
For the match.
For the match, yes. So obviously, it's been a bit of a shake-up early in the week, and the news came out, so it was a bit of a different Monday and Tuesday, so I think they changed the plan a little bit, but I think we had 2 good days, or no, I don't think so, I believe so, and it's been really positive.
How long have you sort of known, because obviously Matt will have been going through the process?
Yeah, so it's obviously a little bit of a sensitive situation in terms of his signing the contracts and all that stuff. So it took, I suppose, according to his knowledge, it took a little bit longer than he expected. But then in the same frame of mind, he had to almost like prime the next players and the next coaches to give them a heads up. So it was basically last week we had a discussion and he said that's probably going to happen. Again, like I say, it was sensitive, so he couldn't like say to everybody. So middle of last week, towards the end of last week, we knew about it, and then we obviously started putting our heads together and started planning just a bit of 2 days in advance before Monday.
How have you moved to sort of lessen the impact of losing the figurehead? Is it?
Look, it's always a big one, but to be fair, the players have been really positive in terms of they just move on and project all the energy going forward. And yeah, it's almost like you look up to somebody who's almost leading you, and then next moment he's not there, so somebody else needs to step up and take the responsibility. So it will definitely have an impact, but having the discussions, I believe we're at the point now where we just go and move forward.
Have you any idea how long you're going to be leading it?
No. So obviously it happened quickly. So at the moment it's just like we just prepare for the lines, and then a week after for the next second game. That's all that's on the table now, and find a way to make it best for the club.
How's it working? Are you taking the lead?
Yeah. So obviously we have good experienced coaching set up at the moment, which we've worked with for a few months and a year, basically a season all together. Now the other boys work together longer, but so basically I just explained it to the players as well. There's a cake, it was cut in 5 pieces. Now there's the same cake and it's cut in 4 pieces. So obviously all the 4 of us will take more responsibility on certain aspects of the game, and that's how we're going to do it. So obviously I'll look a little bit about the bigger picture of especially the club and the game and training sessions, driving standards, and then also the game management a little bit more. But the rest is the same what I've done. For instance, Gethin will do a little bit more on the kicking strategy we focus on and shine a light on it. Scott will do a little bit more on the forward stacking shape stuff. Again, this is just the new roles. And then Johnny obviously take over the whole attack in terms of he's done the launch in the past. So he just adds on the kick counter attack and more the general shape we want to use in the games.
You confident it's not going to completely disrupt particularly the first block of the season that you?
Absolutely, yes. Speaking to the players, speaking to the coaches, it's like we just move on, and it's business as usual, isn't it? So there's no time in the game to look back too much and try and ask why, when, where. So it's just about can we project all our energy forward and find a positive way for the outcome, positive outcome for the club.
Appreciate it. Only happened yesterday. Is it something you'd like to do?
Yeah, obviously each player going in your career, you try and go to the next level. The same as coaching. So obviously you try and do something new. I've been doing what I'm doing for a few years now, so it's probably time now to do something else. And just massive honour to be asked to do that.
And it's been a very uncertain summer as a whole, because with the WRU things going on, how's that impacted?
Yeah, there's been a few things happened that happened in the last few months, isn't it? So I think it's, again, I just think everything forward, so not too much to worry about. Matt's thing is obviously been spoken up quite a fair bit in the media, so I also believe it wasn't the biggest surprise ever for the players to actually see the day where it went that way. So it was almost like you see it coming, but you don't know when it's hitting you.
Looking ahead to the Lions, how excited are you to finally have some rugby after all the uncertainty and everything like that, for the players to get going?
There's a lot of excitement in the camp, and obviously after pre-season, naturally you just look forward to the first game because it's such a long time preparing for it. So we went through phases, and phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. So actually, it's just now ready for the game. You can just sense the boys just want to play.
It's only a friendly, but the confidence from beating Leinster, what's that done for the squad?
Yeah, look, I think the first thing that's really important there is for us to go on a trip and then away from home, and then actually just do what we do, try and get our game on the pitch. That was really pleasing to see. Yeah, debatable if it was the best Leinster side ever, but it's just a good run out. So there's always confidence to take out of it. It's things we've worked on pre-season. Can we see that in a game? There was definitely stuff, yes. And then just ultimately competitive game with pressure situations, how the player can adjust to it and manage it. It was crucial.
And what do you think you can achieve this season? Obviously very close to the playoffs last season.
Yeah, it's always a tough one to answer at the beginning of the year, but look, ultimately what we do as a team, and it's been coming from say the last 12 months, is how we can improve, how we can grow. So we focus a lot on fight in the game, show the supporters we fight and care about the jersey, and then obviously the enjoyment. Enjoyment happens before necessarily the result in the game. So it's almost like enjoying the process of getting ready for the fight. And then obviously the enjoyment stuff, but put that on a base, and then you just add how we can do better, what aspects of our game can we improve. So add that growth, and ultimately that's the goal. Can we get better as a team from week to week, from month to month, and then obviously from season to season. Gets close at the end. Last season was a good example. It was obviously 1 point, and you look back at say a few games, it's a different game, it's a different season. So obviously the old cliche about game for game, and we manage it and see where we get.
And the first block is, I know it's game to game, but the first block is...
Yeah, look, it's actually a nice little block, and everything that happened actually now is like, okay, we know, let's do 5 games. We can then sit back and reflect on how to do things better again. But to be fair, in that block of 5 weeks in a row, it becomes quite... you're into the process, so you're almost like with your sides on and you just work for the next game. So I think we'll reflect a little bit on after the block. And then obviously small tweaks here and there, week in, week out.
One bloke, Mason Grady, has been so unfortunate again. How much do you feel for him after?
Yeah, look, it's massive. You try and get back to the playing pitch, which he's done brilliant on the whole pre-season and everything, and then you injure something else. It really got it for him. He was actually in a really good physical form during the whole pre-season, obviously not playing for Wales in the summer. So it's gutted. But I suppose part of the journey, isn't it?
I suppose put up someone else to step up. Someone
it's
like
always
Tom Bowen has been catching the eye.
Yes.
What have you made of Tom?
Look, Tom is just energy ball, isn't it? He's just like, you see him around, and like just get the energy from him. So look, he's done very well last season in those games. He performed well, scored a few nice tries. I would definitely have not scored in my playing days, but he's an exciting player, isn't he?
Finally, for me, another of the new signings, someone like Tame Basham, is a big opportunity for him since
Yeah, look, I think all the new signings slotted in very easy and very comfortable. The boys know each other, so they've got mates here and there anyway to start off with. So all the new signings, really positive energies that are brought to the team, and excited to see them in a match day situation.
Carl, you talk about tweaks, because I'm only so much you can do in a few days, but will Cardiff supporters see any difference from your Cardiff team as opposed to Matt's, or is it generally a continuation?
Generally, we're just going to continue what we're doing. I think it's really important to, that enjoyment phrase we use as one of our building blocks is to make get the crowd into it as well every game, and ultimately you like seeing tries being scored, and that's what brings them to the stadium, I believe. And try scorers can be anything from scrum try to ball try to turnover try or just a planned move we're trying to do. So I can't see that will change quickly. We all believe in the same vision and have done with Matt, so it will just continue. We'll just drive that standards.
Chris asked you about Mason there with his injury and the injuries to your wings. You're looking a bit light at 13 on the wing. Do you have scope to bring anybody in on loan, as you did with Hennessy last year, for example?
Yeah, look, we've had a few discussions. I can't say exactly what's going to happen going forward at the moment, just because I don't have the info. But there's been talks, and I know Matt's been always looking for a 13 as well, but it just didn't happen in the right timings. So again, it's like a position we sit in. We can't really make a call now with everything that's happening outside as well. So we'll definitely look to strengthen it when it's needed. But then ultimately, there's another opportunity for any young player around.
Has Lilo still got his boots somewhere?
Willis is free.
We always probe him, but now he's I suppose if he's really needed and last man standing, you might jump in, but don't get excited about it.
No, okay.
The progression that Matt always talked about, season on season, this was the one where a top 8 finish is a minimum standard. Do you see it that way?
Yeah, I tried to answer it in the beginning. It's tough to say in the beginning of the season. It's like, okay, well, this is where we're going to get. Yes, the team's been together for a few seasons now and trying to build something, long term. But I'd be foolish to say, we're going to go for top 8, and then it doesn't happen. So I'd rather say we go game to game and judge it on the log status then.
But you should have confidence in the group, and you've added quite nicely, and you're a bit stronger in the front row, certainly, maybe still a bit light in the second, but you could probably play all sorts of different styles again now.
100%, and that's obviously what you try and do. So obviously, like we mentioned about the playing style, it probably won't change. But ultimately, what makes you win rugby games is knowing what you do very well in the game, whether that's being more direct and use your set piece more, or if it's an expensive game, maybe kicking. So whatever it works for the day to get it over the line, we will use. So we will be adaptable to whatever we need for the game.
And it looks as though you've probably got a bit more competition within the squad, which can only help to drive up standards.
Absolutely. One of the big things is just to build that and have competitive training sessions, and then obviously that will transfer to the games, which is at some stages, sometimes and stages, especially during pre-season, a bit challenging. But I think like getting a few numbers back, a few boys back from injury helped a lot this week. So the numbers look good and they can do competitive training.
Yeah. So the other thing I guess we sometimes forget is that when you look at Cardiff, you think, well, they're going to get better and better. The standard rises everywhere around you too, doesn't it?
True. And that's always like the catch-22. It's like you feel comfortable and you believe in your squad. You always believe in, but it's going to be week by week. Let's see how we can build it. Yeah. Instead of sitting here and saying, no, this is where we're going to end. It's a bit difficult.
Where do you see this competition at the moment? It seems to be moving in the right direction, and certainly when you get to the business end in the top half, it's very, very strong.
Yeah, it's I always enjoy it because it's just the different cultures you get to go to and get the feeling of playing against Scottish teams, Italian teams are all a little bit different. So that's what the flavour I like about the competition, to experience that the different styles of rugby.
Chris mentioned earlier on, we've had lots of shenanigans, but I guess the players and the coaches here probably, there's nothing that the game can throw at you outside with the club or with the union that you probably can't deal with now. I mean, it's been an incredible, difficult period for everyone, but are you just sort of impervious to it all now? Do you just put your head down and get on with the rugby?
Yes, the players have been through quite a lot the last, well, not the players, the whole club, but there's obviously from inside and then from outside now lately as well. Obviously with Matt moving on, so yeah, I think they almost like, luckily we had a few chances to learn from it, but I think it's just the excitement of the first game, which is the feeling is it's going to proceed whatever is happening outside. And we always talk about control, but you can control. We can't do anything about it at the moment. We can just perform Saturday and show the fight and get the fans to enjoy it.
Is that a bit of a bunker mentality, is it?
Yeah, almost.
Yeah. Thank you.
Obviously those couple of games when Matt was interim in the Six Nations, you had experience of having to pull together as coaches. Is that a valuable sort of learning experience?
100%. It was a good, because we basically doing now what we did then, and then obviously in the summer when the first block of pre-season, when Gethin and Matt was away, we almost had to do it as well. So we actually had a bit of like, we get our flavour into the team with them not being here. So again, we talk about opportunities of people not there. So just the next guy just step up and you run it.
Obviously this Cardiff team has become known for the attacking game plan, which Matt brought in over the last couple of years. He did a lot of the attack himself. How difficult is that, maybe not to replicate, but to continue, and how much of a burden is that as coaches? You know, you've got Johnny going from just doing starter plays to suddenly taking on the whole attack. How does that sort of work day to day in terms of that burden?
You mean like the training sessions?
Yeah.
No, look, I think that the understanding was clear between what Matt wanted, and Johnny was almost like facilitating it always anyway. So now he's just looking at it in a different way, but still on the moment be able to coach. And then obviously preview is the main thing. So you almost like do something, try something, then you go back and review it, and then you just go again. So it's ultimately just to improve it again. Yeah, so I don't think it will be, we all learned a lot from that, and I think those experiences we can take forward.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.